everybody. How are we doing today? Ooh. I have a very special guest today. For all those that can see, I have my cute little doggy, Hermosa. Ooh, say hi to the people. Hello. And if y'all start talking shit about chihuahuas in the comments, I'm going to fight you personally. Her cute little dress. She's going with the vibes. Ah, your leg. Alrighty, guys. Oh, right, perfect. She's just gonna vibe while mommy does her podcast. How's everybody doing today? It's been a while since we've done a solo potty. So, I was like, you know what? Let's just do me, the peeps, the fans. I love you guys so much. I'm never gonna not say I don't. I appreciate all the love and support. I put so much thought into this, and then to see that you guys actually listen to me and follow me and all this and that, I love it so much. I feel like I have the worst imposter syndrome ever. So when people are like, oh my god, I love your podcast, I'm like, why? It's so weird to me that people actually take time out of their day to watch it. It's just crazy that the people that you would think wouldn't support you, or they're supporting you. I love when people come up to me and tell me that they watch it. I just love it. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. I think this is episode 36. That is crazy. We're almost to the year. It's just wild to me. But yes, thank you again, guys. Don't forget, you could subscribe on YouTube, turn on post notifications, follow me on Instagram. You can listen to me on Spotify and Apple Podcast and all that jazz. Yeah. Even if just listen to it, put it in the background, anything really, it's awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you. So pretty much this episode, people always ask me why a podcast? How did I start it? This and that. So, this is what that's what I'm going to talk about. So I've had said previously in 2020, during COVID and shit, I wasn't allowed to work for almost 2.5 months because of the restrictions and stuff. And at that time I had a lot of time to think to myself because I had literally nothing else to do. And I really was just like, you know what? I want to do a podcast. So long story short, at that time I had told somebody very close to me that I wanted us to do it. They weren't really supportive in the idea, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And then my dreams kind of just faded away. I would always listen to podcasts. I really love them. And I was just like, maybe one day I'll do it, whatever. My hopes were crushed after that. So I was like, it is what it is. Fast forward to 2022. Me and my best friend, we had been talking about how I wanted to do it. She's like, just do it. Don't say, just fuck it. Just do it. I was like, okay, whatever. And I still was very hesitant. I had told my sister about it. I had told my cuñado about it. And then I was just like, whatever. Still didn't do nothing about it. And then one time, Jahira sent me this podcast. It was something about, I don't know, your morning coffee or something. I don't know. The name of the podcast had to do something with coffee. Y luego, pretty much what the episode was, long story short, you got to chase your dreams. If not, then you're just going to complain the whole time that why you didn't do it. I don't know what, something sparked in my head, and I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's do it. I listened to the whole thing. I messaged my cuñado. I was like, you know what, let's do it. If we don't do it now, I'm not going to do it. He's like, bet, let's go. So then we started setting that up, and then right away I was just like, well, what the fuck am I going to name my podcast? And I already had this whole thing on my notes. I was just like, so many different things. I was like, chismeando con Colamba, or all this stuff. And then I was just like, café con Colu. Because it reminded me of the show that it had coffee in it. And I was like, And I liked it, and I was like, you know what? We're going to run with it. Because, fuck it. So I made a whole Instagram. I posted it. I said, I'm going to post my first episode. I gave myself 2 weeks. Because if I didn't give myself a deadline, I was not going to do it. So I gave myself 2 weeks. I rearranged everything. And then, that's how Café con Colu started. And it's been a journey. It's crazy. It's a lot more stressful than I honestly thought it would be. because you have to think about, like, where am I gonna film, and you know how sometimes I do switch around my scenery and stuff. Right now I'm in my living room, so it's just me. I was just like, fuck it, we'll just pop out the tripod and let's do it. So that's that. Sometimes I'll do it in my basement, I'll do it at the salon. Just depends. And then guests too, sometimes guests get sick, they have to reschedule, they get busy, all this, and then I have to think about, like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Who's gonna be my guest next? Am I just gonna have to do it by myself? What are we gonna talk about? Is this gonna make sense? All this and that. So yeah, thank you to all my guests that have showed up. I appreciate it so much. Let me know who you guys want me to bring on. I am very excited to bring on whoever. So let me know, send me a DM and be like, hey, you should have this person on, this, do that, talk about this. Because I also want to be relatable to you guys. Like, I want to be to the point where you guys are like, oh my God, I love watching her because this, and that. Like, yes, most of my podcasts are fucking about cheeseman and shit. And like I've said in previous episodes, like, I won't put people on blast unless it's like my guest, of course, and we're putting each other on blast. Like, I won't tarnish someone's reputation. I'm very clear with my guests, like, hey, if we say something and you kind of didn't want to say it, I'll take it off. Because at the end of the day, like, I don't want to put that out there if they didn't want to put it out there. Because I talk a lot of shit too, so there's things that I'm like, let's cut this out. I'm like, yeah, let's not expose me too fast. But I'll see. Sorry guys, I feel like I sound like a man right now. I think I'm a little sick. But yeah, equipment wise, everyone always asks me, I don't know, my cuñado has everything, but we haven't been involving here and there. Usually when he's out of town, I just grab my tripod, put my phone up, and we call it a day. When he is here, we have about 3 different angles if people have been watching on YouTube. So we have 3 different cameras going around. We usually have like a little sound box to hear. At the beginning, we were doing microphones, and then we kind of gave up the microphone thing to see how the waters were testing. And I don't know, I kind of like the idea of not having microphones because I feel like it's more relaxed, more chill. But then I feel like it takes away from the podcast feel, But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Because I like just being able to chill, like chilling with my guests and just talking. Like, I feel like once you put a microphone in front of someone's face, it's intimidating and it's scary. So I feel like when you're just, press record and you're just chilling, it's different. That's what I really like. So yeah. And then usually I try to do, my goal is to always try to do an hour-long episode with a break in between. So a 30-minute segment and then another 30-minute segment. Y pues ya. That's pretty much it. I upload on, it used to be called Anchor. It's not Anchor anymore. It's called Podcast for Spotify or Podcasters, something like that. So that I'm able to upload on that, and then that uploads it on Spotify and Apple Music for me. I can upload it on other podcast places, but I feel like that's the bigger ones that you guys listen to, so I just stick to that. And then to YouTube, of course. My cuñado edits my YouTube videos for me. He does all that. That's another thing. He does a big majority of behind the scenes. I just literally sit here and talk on the camera. So a huge shout out to that. Very grateful for him. So that's another thing. If you're very tech savvy and you know how to like edit and stuff, that's gonna be a really good thing, because you need to be able to learn how to like edit your videos, how to put in music, how to do the whole like beep noises out when people talk too much, like your intros and your outros and your something in the middle and like this and that, and how to like fix the lighting and the videos and all that good stuff. And yeah, pretty much like that's how podcasting is. It's very rewarding. I know one day manifesting this, I swear I will manifest this. I want to be pretty big. I want to be as big as, like call her daddy and like I always say his name wrong. Joe Rogan and like, all those people. I feel like to them it's always easier that they grew their podcast so much because they're already famous, and then they just make a podcast and all of a sudden it blows up. But me just starting off small, being a humble little one, I really hope one day I could just take off and, be as big as them, and I can have even bigger guests on my podcast. And, maybe by that time I'll have a studio también, and where it's just, my little area and I could do whatever. And yeah, like, I'm just excited to see what happens in the future. There's 52 weeks in a year, so me being 36, I'm almost to the year, which is so crazy to me. But yeah, I'm so excited for what this has in store for me. And yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a quick break. I know I threw a lot of information there, but we're going to take a quick break and then I'll be back. Clap, clap, clap. Welcome back. Hi, guys. My dog Ana de Chiplilipis, la niña hermosa. Oh, I just love you. Beso. Okay. Alrighty, guys. So, can you not start with the barks? Alrighty, guys. So, I just realized that when I'm by myself, I talk really, 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 really fast. And that whole first segment was only 11 minutes long. Great. So I was just like, you know what? Let's make this a little longer. So, hi guys. My name is Colu. I have a podcast and it's called Café con Colu. And I feel like it's been a while since I did one of these, or I don't even think I did one of these, but I was like, let's get to know me for the people that don't know me, or just, tuning in and stuff. Thank you guys for all the support. I love you again. So I was like, you know what? I found some questions that I'm excited to answer, and yeah, let's dive in. I really liked this question because I feel like this question can be interpreted very, very different to a lot of people. And I feel like this question usually shifts a lot for me, but it's, what is your biggest fear? And my biggest fear is death. I think to me, it's hard because everybody, depending on how you grew up, I grew up very Catholic. A lot of people are Christian, a lot of people are Jewish, and it just depends, what you believe in, if there's an afterlife or not. And to me, I'm very mixed. I have very mixed feelings about it because you honestly, no matter what you believe in, at the end of the day, once you're dead, and you really don't know what's out there, I do believe there's an afterlife. I do believe in heaven and hell. I do believe in all that. I do feel like you do have to pay for the things you did on earth too before, you get rewarded and stuff. Not everyone's going to make it to heaven, of course, and, you won't be stuck in hell forever. Pero también it's the thing to me, it's what's next, do you reincarnate? Do you not? Are you just up there chilling with everybody and waiting for, your loved ones to die so that way they can meet you up there? It's just all these things, and it's just always been so crazy to me just to think about it, because I had a cousin, a tia, and my grandma passed away in the last few years, and I've dreamed about them. So I'm like, okay, maybe, and I've talked to them and I've hugged them and I've cried to them oh, I miss you and this and that. So I feel like there is something else beyond that gives me the freedom, the privilege to be able to hug them and stuff, even though I know it's just a dream, but to me it feels like, I was able to hug them and say goodbye and this and that. So I feel like there is something else after. It's just the thought of what is it, or what's my steps before that. What really freaked me out once was one of my good friends. He passed away, and 2 weeks later I had a dream about him. And usually I feel like, self-consciously you dream of people, but I wasn't thinking about him or anything, and I randomly dream about him. Y luego he comes up to me, he's like, hey, I asked for permission to come say bye to you. And I was like, why me though? Like, me and him hadn't talked in years at this point. So I was just like, it was just so crazy to me. So after that, it makes me a little more like, oh, okay, like, there is a hope that once you're dead, you are still able to be surrounded by the people you love and then just wait for everybody else, you know? So, but to me, still to this day, death is one of my biggest fears. I'm just scared of what is next because once you're dead, you're dead, you know? I hope that made sense. I hope you got, yeah. I remember I had to talk to my therapist about it because she mentioned, this was before, but like when I first started going through therapy, like 2 years ago when I was really going through it, going through therapy, she asked me, she's like, are you suicidal? Have you had any thoughts? And this was before, my depression got really bad, but I told her, I was like, no, I'm just scared of death, so I don't think I ever would. And she's like, why? And then I was explaining to her, and then like it made sense it made sense how I was explaining to her, and it made sense to her, so it kind of helped me a little bit. But then I'm always scared, like, fuck, I'm gonna die, and everybody's time comes, and I hope I outlive everybody because I'm scared to die. And if being immortal was a thing and I could be bit by a vampire, I will live forever. What could you change about yourself if you could? I feel like now that I've always been very insecure. Even when I was like this tiny little thing, I used to always hate my body no matter what. I think physically, I have gained a lot of weight. So, that I can always change. But I think anything else that I honestly wish I was taller. I wish I was like 5'9", 5'10". I'm 5'7" right now. I wish I was taller. I really do. So honestly, probably just my height. Because, anything else I could just work for. I can always lose the weight again. But anything that I could change, if I could, was, be taller. What really makes you angry? I don't feel like a lot of things make me angry anymore. I think I've come to terms that life, it is what it is, and you can be angry. I'm very a nonchalant person. I get irritated, but I don't get angry, I would say, very often. I think what really grinds my gears is just annoying ass bitches. Fake bitches. People that claim to be your friend and then aren't or are fake, and then I've gone through a few friends that of course we're no longer friends, and just it sucks, but it is what it is. Que les vaya bien, and there's a reason why we're not friends anymore. What makes you laugh the most? Me. I'm the fucking funniest person ever. Just kidding. No, but I really am. If you guys are ever around me, literally digo pura pinche tonteria. Puro cotorreo, of course. Always, always, always. But I say the stupidest shit ever, and it's the funniest thing. I just love it. I'll just be saying, like, the dumbest things come out of my mouth. And I just love making people laugh because then it makes me laugh, and it makes me happy that I can make people laugh. Next question. If you could live anywhere, what would it be? Where would it be? Honestly, if I could, I always said I wanted to live in California, but the way this economy is and the inflation and shit, it's very expensive. But if money wasn't an issue and I could literally live wherever, I think somewhere in Europe. I haven't been yet. I just feel like free healthcare, first of all, but I feel like they're a lot more lenient with a lot more things that here you're not. And I feel like over there, it's just the life just seems so much more casual. And I feel like here in the US, you're like going, 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 going. I'm always fucking working, and I feel like I drain myself so much that I feel like if I was in other places where people are more chill about everything, it's just more chill vibes. I feel like here everybody's always on a timer. Like, oh, I have to go. I only have this time to do this, and I only have time to do this. And I know I do that because I usually only give myself enough time during the day to do what I have to do. I'll wake up right before I have to go to the gym, right before I have to go to work, right before I have to do something. I only give myself enough time, so I feel like I'm always on the go, 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 go because I don't plan my day out as I should, but then I'm like, well, I can't really plan it out because, I have to go to work at this time. I have to do this at this time. I have to make sure I get my hair cut in and out at this time, my color, like I feel like I'm very go, 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 go. So I feel like if I were to live somewhere like in Europe where they're more chill, they start their work days like so much later. They don't have dinner until like 8 or 9 because, they just been chilling all day. So I feel like somewhere like that would be more beneficial for me. What motivates you to work hard? I feel like what motivates me to work hard is just hoping to set a not well, kind of like set a legacy for my future kids and stuff. My parents came, to give us a better life, the American dream. And they work hard, and I want to be able to, have them retire already, not have to worry about anything. My sister too, nah, she can work. She's fine. She's still young. She'll need to retire. I want to live comfortably. I want to be able to not be like, oh, well, I guess I'll wait until next month because of this, or I'll wait because of that. Like I make good money, not saying I don't, but just to the point where like it wouldn't be an issue and I could just, be like, oh, let's take a month off and go do this, and let's go take a week off and do this, and not have to worry about like, oh no, I can't. Let me work real quick and then save up, stuff like that. I just want to be able to live comfortably to where like me vale verga todo and I just swipe my card and I don't care, honestly. What's your favorite thing about your career? Ooh. I think my favorite thing about my career is doing color and like transforming people. Um, I just love being able to, take a brunette girl or someone with black hair and then make them blonde and, doing the vivids. I love doing vivids. I like putting, like the pinks, the greens, the blues, and all that in their hair. That's always a good time. I love chopping people's hair off. That's my favorite thing to do when they have it super, super fucking long and then we just fucking chop it. Oh, my favorite. I love chopping people's hair off. I just love being able to have people in my chair come in as one person and leave as a different person and feeling good about the appointment and feeling good about themselves and feeling like they the bad bitches because they are bad bitches, Like I just love seeing people in my chair like, oh my god, I love this, and oh my god, this and that, and I just love it so 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 much. um I had people in my chair, they're always like, oh my god, I love my hair, and oh my god, I love this and this and that, and I've had my few hiccups here and there, like who doesn't, but it's always so rewarding, and it's just my favorite part of when I turn my chair and then they finally see themselves and then they're just so ecstatic about the end results and they're so happy, and it just feels good to me that I'm like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm doing a good job. This is what I love to do. And yeah, it's a very rewarding thing. And I think that's my most favorite thing about my career is just making people feel like bad bitches. Well, if you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Ooh, I think if it came with no repercussions, as most people know, I did want to be a homicide detective at one point. Very two different career points. I did watch the show Lucifer on Netflix, and then that's what pretty much got me like, oh my god, I want to be a detective. But then I realized you have to be cop first, and I was like, never mind, thanks. Y luego, so honestly, if I could go to like a really like big like crime scene and like just be a detective and like figure out like all this and that, that'd be fucking fun. Or being able to talk to like a serial killer or someone that's like, like a Ted Bundy or something. Like how in his mind was he able to just like talk to these women, have these women lure the woman to him and just kill him como si nada and just like go up in court and like just the way his mind worked and Also like Jeffrey Dahmer, like how did he think of, like, let me cut them up and eat them? Like how did he think of that was a good, like he didn't just like kill them. Like no, he was like killing these people to cook them, to eat them. Like how did he go to the next step of, okay, they're dead, but hold up, let me keep going and this and that, um and just like, yeah, like how do people just do one thing and then they're like, okay, let me keep going and let me keep going and let me keep going until you're, you to the point where you're like, well, what's next? Because there's one thing of like, just killing people and like, throwing them in the ditch or throwing them in the ocean or whatever. But then it's like, what's the next step of, some people keep their bodies or, they'll freeze them, they'll keep the bones, they'll bury them in their backyard. Like what goes through their mind that they're like, yeah, let's do this and that, I feel like that would be another thing that I would love to do. I really like this one because this one's a funny one. If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? And for anybody that knows me, I fucking love McDonald's. Hence why I'm 600 pounds. But I love McDonald's for life. Like that's the one. If I could only have one fast food chain for the rest of my life, there's so many options. There's a Big Mac. There's a fish fillet. Don't hate it. Don't knock until you try it. There's the chicken nuggets. There's a hot spicy. There's the quarter pounders. There's a McDoubles. There's just a regular cheeseburger. What else did I miss? I mean, that's about it. But the other chicken sandwiches and stuff, and I just love it. Just the different options. But if I could just choose one meal, and I guess hot and spicy fries and a large Coke. Extra mayo on the hot and spicy though. Don't forget the extra mayo. Okay, last one. What did you want to be when you were smaller? I like that question because I feel like when I was growing up, I watched a lot of America's Next Top Model and I wanted to be a model so bad. And I was just like, I was already super skinny though. So I was like, you know what? I can do this. Let's do it. But then I realized I'm too short. I'm 5'7", like I mentioned, and models are 5'10" and above. So I was like, okay, fuck, I can't be a model because I'm too short. What's after that? So I was like, what do the models wear? They have to be dressed up. So they have to wear clothes, right? Duh. Whether it's runway, swimsuit, photo shoots, whatever, they still have to wear clothing. The red carpet, this and that. And I was like, okay, like I would love for someone, how usually they go up to celebrities and then they're like, oh, what are you wearing tonight? And they'll be like, oh, Vera Wang or Marc Jacobs or Oscar de la Renta, this and that, So I'm like, ooh, like I want them to be like, oh, what are you wearing tonight? And you'll be like, Kulumbarana, like, oh, how fun. So I wanted to be a fashion designer for the longest time. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. This is my career. I want to be a fashion designer. Comes to high school, I was like, okay, I got to look up schools. The only school that had that at the closest was CSU for Collins. And my mom and dad were really strict. And they were like, they thought the 45-minute drive was going to be the death of me. And I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. So I kind of gave up, but I still was there. I drew a lot. I wasn't the best drawer, but you would get the hint of what I was trying to draw. I practiced really hard. Like I would draw the silhouettes. I had a thing for dresses at one point, so I was designing like quinceañera dresses, like elegant dresses, black tie event dresses, like all that. And then at one point I was doing shoes and like all this stuff because I really wanted to be a fashion designer. Come maybe junior year, my mom was like, you're not going. If you want to do something in college, you have to be here in Greeley. You're not going anywhere else. Me, hearing that, I was just like, hey, whatever. So I kind of gave up in school. Like my grades were not, they weren't like great, but they were still good. So I pretty much just gave up and I was like, it is what it is. So they came down to, what am I going to do with my life? And I was like, well, what's after fashion design? I guess someone has to do hair for the model. Someone has to do their makeup. So I was like, whatever. So I decided to go to cosmetology school. And then after cosmetology school, I was in there and I was just like, whatever. I was just going through the motions. And you could tell people that were there were so eager and so happy and just ready to like dive in. And the people that had the most passion, you could tell they were the ones that, not that sucked, but like they, I guess the craft and their dreams were not combining into one. So like, they were always messing up, they were always doing this and that. And me, that I was kind of like whatever, like I was actually pretty good at it. I was like, interesting. So I just kept going after it and after it, and then eventually I did, I'm doing very well for myself. I've been in the career for 7 years now. And I just love it. It's so exhilarating and I love it so much, and I can't wait to see where this takes me. Maybe eventually I can somehow shift into fashion design and do it and not officially give up on my dreams too much. And yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for putting up with me. I know this is going to be a very short episode, but thank you. Don't forget, you can listen to me on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and you can see our beautiful faces on YouTube. Bye.